Part 1. Strategy for the All Heavens Dungeon, starting from the Biohive. Author, I'm chasing water in the sky. Chapter 1. It's outrageous. I talked about my girlfriend for a week and broke up with myself. The two got together and dispersed. When I finally came out of the hotel, Era kindly proposed, let the sister who is already the ex introduce yourself to her best friends, get to know each other, and communicate a thing or two. In the end, he got a white eye, a bad pen, and an elbow blow. Wronged or not? Of course it's wronged. Lord Qingtian testified to me that my arrow was so pure that I didn't have any other thoughts. If you break this oath, you will be struck by thunder. Boom. Boom. The entrance of the first hospital of the demon capital. Epic cautiously glanced at the sky. I'm going to swear again. Take a taxi back home and lie down on the couch. Whew. With a long sigh of relief, Gun was concerned. Who would have thought that just swearing like this, how could I almost be struck by lightning? It's only a fraction of a centimeter away. Will be slashed from the door of the head by that lightning bolt on a sunny day. Take a can of Coke and take a sip to suppress the shock. Although it was not struck by direct lightning. But Gun always felt that something was being punched into his body at that time. My body is also numb a lot. In the end, I was a little scared, and I went to the hospital to check it out. It's fine. Traveling to this parallel world, I almost burped. Muttering, Ino turned on the TV. On TV, the military parade in Kyushu was being broadcast. Looking at it, Gun thought of the previous life. He's an ordinary traverser. In this parallel world, Kyushu, I have lived for 20 years. The same modern technological society is just a parallel world. I grew up in a welfare home. Ahem. I was almost struck by lightning, and I don't know if I will give a golden finger, haha. Ding. Heaven's Dungeon system activated. Just as Gun was thinking about it, a mechanical voice sounded in his head. Heaven's Quest system. Is this my golden finger? The standard configuration of the traverser actually arrived when it was almost struck by lightning. Arrow was stupidly amused, ran into the room, and closed the curtains. System, what do you do? He hurriedly asked the system in his mind. Heaven's Quest system, connect the heavens and 10,000 worlds, and create a secret realm dungeon. Clear the copy of the heavenly cheats to get rewards. Approximate classification of Uncharted Dungeons. Hive Secret Realm Dungeon, 1-star adventure level dungeon, from the Resident Evil world. Xiangyang City Secret Realm Dungeon, 1-star difficulty level dungeon, from the Condor world. Infinite Train Secret Realm Dungeon. World War Ninja Uncharted Dungeon. Void Circle 10 Blade Secret Realm Quest. Life Forbidden Zone Secret Realm Quest. Flood Calamity Secret Realm Quest. Note that there is no upper limit to the star rating of the dungeon, and each star is divided into normal, adventure, difficult, and king. Epic looked at these secret realm dungeons, his eyes glinting. The names of these secret realm dungeons were all too familiar to him. And as long as you clear the dungeon, then you will get countless rewards. Whether it's technology, genes, abilities, myths. All of them, if you get these rewards. That's not so simple as transcendental, immortality, and it's not impossible to become a Buddha and an ancestor. The arrow was overjoyed, and the message continued to flow through his head. Dungeon random opening. There are no penalties and restrictions on the dungeon strategy, you can attack it at will, as long as you complete the task of the secret realm dungeon, it will be considered completed. If the dungeon strategy fails, it can be reopened repeatedly, and a new dungeon will continue to be opened after 1 month, but the previous dungeon will not disappear, and the strategy can be continued. If the dungeon strategy is successful, you can open the next dungeon at any time. The epoch digests the information of various secret realm dungeons. His face flushed. It's pure excitement to be like this. Calm down. Eno patted his cheek and continued to think. The strategy of the dungeon, in addition to the rewards given after completing the mission. And all the items in the dungeon world. I can even empty the entire quest of the uncharted realm. And after clearing the first dungeon, I can open my personal origin world. Then, you can manifest the copy of the secret realm into the personal origin world. Gun was silent for a while, and his heart was full of thoughts. The main thing is that there is too much information about the uncharted dungeons. He didn't know where to start. After thinking about it for a long time, Gun calmed down a little. Anyway, the first thing to do now is to open the dungeon. Ding. First quest open. Hive Secret Realm Dungeon, 1-star adventure level dungeon, from the Resident Evil world. Task 1, turn off the AI Red Queen. Mission 2, kill all zombies in the hive. Mission 3, destroy the liquor. Note, each time you complete a mission, you will get a reward. Complete all quests to get an additional reward. Strategy for the All Heavens dungeon, starting from the Biohive. Author, I'm chasing water in the sky. Chapter 2. The Hive of Resident Evil. 1-star adventure dungeon. Difficult. As an ordinary person, I'm afraid that if I go in, I'll die, let alone brush up on copies. Although protected by the mechanism of the copy. So that the raiders who enter the secret realm of the hive will not be directly infected by the zombie virus due to breathing. It will not allow the virus to be attached and taken out of the secret realm. Only when you are bitten or scratched by a zombie will you be infected with the zombie virus. But what the hell, where do you have the strength to kill zombies? That's uncomfortable. Do you want me to practice martial arts, or firearms, or exercise on my own? Wait a few years, then go in and try it again. Eno thought as he walked back to the living room and sat down on the couch. Then he shook his head. Even if you criticize yourself, you can't pick up so many zombies alone. And the hive also has the control of the Red Queen. After you need to turn off the red, you don't have the ability of hackers to hack into the computer. Therefore, relying on my own strength to attack the dungeon is simply delusional. Is there any other way? Gun thought for a while, scratching his ears and cheeks. Until I put my eyes on the TV in front of me, the big military parade was still playing. Elite warriors, sophisticated weapons. If you come to Dongfeng Express, put it directly into the hive. Then everything is really peaceful, and there are no worries at all. Thinking of this, the more Epoch thought about it, the more he thought about it. Ideas come up in my mind. I don't have to go through the dungeon to clear it. You can let other people go through the dungeon and complete the task. And as long as I clear the dungeon, I can get a reward. Then if you cooperate with the Kyushu government and let them go to the customs clearance, will they go? There's a high probability I'll go, after all, it's in the hive, but there is a very high level of biological and medical science and technology information. Maybe there are other high-tech materials in the Red Queen. The main thing is the T-virus. The more I thought about it, the more I felt that this method was feasible. Moreover, he also has more ideas about the strategy of the dungeon. However, these are all built in the case of the Hive dungeon, which was cleared by Kyushu. So, now it's time to get things done. Or rather, next, if the plan is successful, then the era is about to begin, a life of lying down and winning. A fighter base in Kyushu. In broad daylight, the fighters are training. Suddenly, a colorful light came from the sky, appearing in mid-air. Then, the light turned into a blank piece of paper, suspended in mid-air. And above the white paper contract, a light and shadow appeared. There was an eerie sight for everyone at the base. And through the light and shadow, it seems to be a research base. However, this research base does not look normal. The lab, or the elevator, was littered with dead bodies. But the next moment, the dead corpses, as if sensing the attention outside, suddenly opened their miserable white eyes. And on top of that, there's the hideous and massive monster inside a metal chest. But after a few moments, the light and shadow faded. I saw the paper fall from mid-air, to a position that people could touch at will. 2 days later, in the conference room of the base. Starting today, the base here will be renamed the Special Combat Team for the Secret Realm Dungeon. And the captain of the first copy of the strategy team is served by Wolf Warrior Lang Feng. Lang Feng, you tell all the information first. A rather dignified middle-aged elder said to a young man with a resolute face on the side. Okay, Commander-in-Chief Wu. Lang Feng sat up straight, gathered the documents in his hands, and then said calmly. Most of the information in the mystery copy is unknown, and no instrument can detect it. Now, there's only one thing you know. That's the first dungeon hive secret realm, which belongs to the trial mission. As long as we pass the trial mission, we will be able to get more information. So, we're going to have to go through a dungeon. Speaking of this, Lang Feng paused for a moment, and then continued. In the past 2 days, after a meeting of the Special Operations think tank, all the information about the trial copy has been made public to us. The secret realm of the Quest Hive belongs to the underground biotechnology research base of another world. It's a tech company called Umbrella, built to study a biochemical virus. But the research base, for unknown reasons, the virus leaked. After the artificial intelligence of the research base became popular, in order to prevent the virus from leaking to the outside world, the entire research base was closed. But all the bioengineers in the base died, and even became zombie creatures through virus infection. Speaking of this, Lang Feng opened a video, which is some zombie movies on Kyushu Blue Star. Like the zombies in our fantasy movies, you have to attack your head to die. Moreover, there are mutated zombie dogs in this base, and there is also a biological weapon developed by the Umbrella Company, the liquor. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Strategy for the All Heavens Dungeon, starting from the Biohive. Author, I'm Chasing Water in the Sky. Chapter 3. Creature Weapon, Liquor. This kind of monster, in that phantom, only saw a little appearance. But everyone present knew that this thing must not be easy to mess with. Guys, the main thing is about the virus infection. We are not infected by viruses that remain in the air. You can only get infected with the T virus if you come into contact with blood. And when passing through the secret realm of the dungeon, all the viruses of the other world will disappear. Therefore, once our people are infected with the zombie virus, they must leave the secret realm of the dungeon as soon as possible. When Lang Feng said this, Commander-in-Chief Wu on the side asked. We know the information of the dungeon, now let's talk about how to attack it, and what we will get after the strategy. Hearing this, Lang Feng was beside a sassy woman with glasses. Her name is Liang Rong, and she is a member of the base's think tank, and her main job now is to contact the strategy team with the information and intelligence analyzed by the think tank. She lifted the frame of her glasses, looked at the documents in her hand and said, Commander-in-Chief, it's still easy to raid this dungeon. This is an unrestricted copy, there is no limit to the number of people, there is no limit to armament, and we have too much room to operate. Captain Lang Feng, the first raider team led by him, has now selected the best 1,000 fighters from the entire army. And all with the finest individual weapons. Even if you get injured, you won't turn into a zombie right away, and you can get out of the dungeon directly. The only problem is that after leaving the dungeon, you can't continue to enter, it's not a big problem. And no matter how powerful the liquor is, it's just flesh and blood, something made by humans. Our individual weapons can melt even steel, and flesh creatures don't need to be overestimated. But just in case, the fighters better be careful. And the second strategy team led by Captain Yunlong is to respond and substitute. Speaking of this, Liang Rong's eyes flashed, and the corners of her mouth couldn't help but rise, looking a little excited, but she quickly suppressed it and continued. And when it comes to the benefits after the Raider dungeon, since it's a trial dungeon, there isn't much information, and you have to pass it before you know all the information and meet the mysterious people behind the secret realm of the dungeon. Let's not talk about that for now. Let's just say that now we will complete all the tasks after the strategy. You can get information about biotechnology in another world. You can even get T-virus, virus serum, virus data, artificial intelligence data, and so on. This is more technology and information than we have in the world. After Liang Rong finished speaking, everyone present in the conference room couldn't help but be fascinated. This is just the first trials dungeon, and there will be more to come. That's why the above is very cautious about this. Now that the instructions have been made above, we can use everything we have to carry out the quest strategy. Commander-in-Chief Wu's face was full of red light, and he even wanted to lead the team directly into the secret realm of the Hive. But each has his own duties, and he has to sit in the base camp of the base and control everything. If everything goes well, then our Kyushu will rise even faster. Yes, biotechnology from another world, as well as the scientific research instruments and scientific research materials of the research base, everything is a good thing. You say, will there be alien technology in the future? Don't talk about this. I'm afraid that there will be magic in the future, and it may not be possible to have extraordinary powers. After a while, the conference room was lively, and everyone was looking forward to the dungeon. Quest entrance. This place is now 3 layers inside and 3 layers outside, and it is surrounded by a solid knot. There are even heavy fire weapons, aimed directly at here. And here, there are also 2,000 elite soldiers, dressed in tactical suits, and fully equipped with various weapons. As if weapons don't want money. There are even people dedicated to transporting ammunition. Anyway, you can bring as much as you can. Remember, zombies have to get headshots. Only a headshot will die. If you can't blow your head, you can get on the bazooka and the grenade. If you are injured, or if the building collapses and breaks, come back as soon as possible, and don't stay. Take any damage. Remember, as soon as you take any damage, leave the dungeon immediately. This is an order, you can't get away with heroes. Lang Feng and Yun Long stood at the front of the team and shouted loudly. After that, no more nonsense. A team of 6, enter the dungeon immediately. With Lang Feng's order, he was the first to take the lead and enter the dungeon. At the same time, next to the piece of paper at the entrance of the dungeon, a huge live broadcast screen appeared out of thin air, which was the picture of the Lang Feng team entering. Continue in, a total of 10 combat squads, 10 ammunition delivery squads. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Following Yunlong's orders, the warriors all excitedly chose to enter the dungeon one by one. Strategy for the All Heavens dungeon, starting from the Biohive. Author, I'm chasing water in the sky. Chapter 4. The first dungeon strategy. There are a lot of people who pay attention, including the elders at the top of the official Kyushu government. And the commander-in-chief of the base, together with the think tank, also paid attention. And in the Hive dungeon, Lang Feng and the others stood in a passage. What is the strategy of the think tank? Commander-in-Chief Wu asked with interest. Liang Rong smiled slightly, and then said. The dungeon has a total of 3 tasks. After turning off the artificial intelligence red, destroy all the zombies, and eliminate the lickers. According to the dungeon information, most of the zombies or lickers are basically in a state of blockade. You can only release them when you turn off the reds. So, the first time we got there, we didn't close the Red Queen, but first explored all the places in the base. Then kill all the non-blockade zombies first, scatter the manpower, set up the fire points, and finally go to close the Red Queen. Sure enough, as Liang Rong said, the captain of each team rushed to the research base with people while recording information. By the way, the zombies who fell to the ground and had not yet woken up were all headshots. It's not like in the movies, just a few people. It's about having as many people as you want. If it weren't for the fact that this is a research base, tanks and armored vehicles would have been driven into it a long time ago. Just these zombies, even lickers. Without thinking about being infected by the virus, it is just trivial to multiply it dozens of times. Captain, look, this zombie has woken up. Through the special bulletproof glass, a team member pointed to the zombie soaked in the water and said. I couldn't help but knock on the glass to attract the attention of the zombies. Then I saw the zombies inside, waking up one after another, scratching at the glass. The soldiers really hadn't seen this battle with their own eyes. Immediately, I was still a little sick to my stomach. But the qualities of being an elite warrior still keep them calm. All right, we're going to block this place. A team of several hundred people guarding a research base is simply more than enough. And, in another place, a warrior saw the liquor that flashed in the frame behind the metal door frame. Is it a biological weapon liquor, Captain? Just take it out. The squad leader leaned in front of the iron window, turned on the tactical flashlight, and shone a picture inside. I saw the whole picture of the liquor, and even the people who were watching the live broadcast could see it clearly. This is a biological weapon, it's too terrifying, and the stars and stripes of that parallel world are too bold. Tisk, if it's according to the movie, the general plot is a virus leak, which leads to a global crisis. It's a pity, if only I could bring this liquor out. A professor of biotechnology, with his eyes shining, seems eager to go to the liquor and study it. Phew, don't think about this, you can't bring anything related to the virus out there. That's right, don't be careless, let the virus crisis play out in our place. And inside the hive. Looking at the squad leader of the liquors, of course, according to the orders he had received a long time ago. Directly on the tactical high explosives. And it's generous. When the fighters left this side, the explosives exploded. Even the protective door was blown open. When everything is quiet. 4 or 5 squads, forming a protective circle, some fighters entered the room where the liquors were held. What was left on the ground were fragments of stumps. And something like this is happening almost all over the research base. Including those ventilation ducts, there are small drones flying in to check. Even the artificial intelligence of the Red Queen was sluggish for a moment. But her program told her that she had to stop the people on the other side of the ocean who didn't know how to show up. You can't shut me down. It's been infected by the virus, and the virus has to be kept inside. But the warriors wouldn't pay attention to her. Click. The classic laser channel is turned on. But reality is not a movie. But no warrior walked directly into it, but directly remotely controlled the little robot into the passage. Sure enough, the next moment the door was shut. By the way, there are also lasers appearing. But all this can't stop the fighters from continuing to crack. Less than a minute. The laser channel is opened again, and the laser disappears. But the cautious warriors continued to explore the path with the little robots. Someone even drove a pig in. This time, there was finally no mechanism, and the soldiers entered it one by one. Place the red back to turn it off. Let the Red Queen's intimidation be ignored. Next, it's time for the warriors to kill. However, I'm sorry, there are too many warriors, more than zombies. Weapons and ammunition are even more abundant. It took less than half an hour. The zombies in the entire hive secret realm have all been wiped out. At this time, all the fighters received a reminder that the mission had been completed. The next moment, they were all kicked out of the dungeon. At the entrance of the outside dungeon, the words "Passed the trial" also appeared. Strategy for the All Heavens dungeon, starting from the Biohive. Author, I'm chasing water in the sky. Chapter 5. Far away in his own era, through the live broadcast vision, all the experiences can be seen clearly. Damn, garbage zombies. Haha. Ding. Congratulations on clearing the 1-star adventure level Dungeon Hive Secret Realm. Congratulations on completing all the tasks. Reward 1, a super fortified T-virus without any side effects, from the world of Resident Evil. Reward 2, 1 millennial returning pill, from the modern Roulette God Palm world. Reward 3, Juyang divine skill is complete, from the Heaven and Dragon slaying world. Additional rewards, open the Dungeon Hive Secret Realm Mall, open the Resident Evil Hidden Dungeon, and reward points 10,000. Whether to claim the reward. The Anak certainly doesn't hesitate and goes straight back to claim your reward. While claiming your rewards, Epic also gains one of the most important things. The world of personal origin. Enter. This is what the Epic has in mind. In an instant, the Epic disappeared into the room. Is this the world of personal origin? It's a huge continent. There are sun, moon, and stars overhead, and the whole continent seems to be in the starry sky. And in front of the Epic, there was a vast flat clearing. At the end of this place, there is a sacred mountain. And in front of the Epic Age, there is also a map. On the map, only the open space and Mount Kinabalu in front of you are lit up. This means that only such a place is open now. If you want to open more places, you need to clear more dungeons. Moreover, in this human origin space, the Epic is like the way of heaven that controls everything. Anything can be done. But it's a pity that you can't directly improve your strength. Let's improve our own strength first. The Epic dodged, disappeared here, and went to the sacred mountain. With a finger in his hand, a simple hut appeared. Eno stepped inside and sat down cross-legged. The perfect Super T-virus can fundamentally improve the genes of ordinary people. It can give the Epic a strong cultivation talent. At the same time, a big pill like a banana was held in Gun's hand. Damn, it's good that it's not the kind in the palm of the modern gods. Gun complained, he can still gnaw on this good-looking Dan. After eating de Huandan, he was full of fever. The next moment, the Juyang divine skill appeared in his mind. In his consciousness, it seemed that after decades of hard work, he had refined the Juyang divine skill and achieved instant consummation. Absorb the medicinal power of the 1,000-year-old pill completely. After practicing this Juyang divine skill, he realized that this martial art could actually be easy to cleanse the marrow, which made Gun a little happy. Moreover, the internal force of Juyang divine skill is extremely fast and endless, giving birth to purple gas. His ordinary fists and feet can also use great attack power, his physical defense is unmatched, he automatically protects his body, and he can also rebound external attacks, achieving King Kong's incorruptible body. Even the speed is greatly bonus, and it is a healing holy scripture, which does not cause any disease and poison. The full exertion of the Xiang internal force can burn people to charcoal, specifically restraining all cold and yin poisonous internal forces. Juyang Shengong is a combination of martial arts system, and after practice, all martial arts in the world are available with them. After learning, it is also attached to the bone shrinking gong, turtle breath gong, wall swimming gong and other kung fu. The Epic digests all the information in the mind. I opened my own panel. Era. Level, Transcendent Third Order. Practice, Juyang Divine Skill. Points, 10,000. Cleared Dungeon, Hive Realm. Opened Dungeon, Resident Evil Hidden Secret Realm, Smiling proud Jianghu martial arts secret realm. Don't look at the copy yet. The epoch first looked at something new. Shopping center. As long as you clear the dungeon perfectly and complete all the tasks, you can open the dungeon. Quest Hive secret mall. Items: T-virus serum, liquors, zombie dogs, zombies. The lowest price is the zombie, and it's only 10 points. The most expensive, on the contrary, is the liquor, which costs 500 points each. Moreover, liquors and zombies, after purchase, can be completely controlled, and do not have the ability to infect. These are not useful to me, but they are still useful to the thugs of the raiders I chose. Gun smiled, and had an idea in his heart. Leave Mount Kinabalu and come to the clearing. In the middle of the clearing, an area has been carved out by the epoch age. Here, in the future, it will become a place to enter and exit the dungeon. There are 2 copies hanging here right now. And on the edge of the clearing, there is an entrance, and there is the entrance to the hive. Master! A crisp voice sounded, and a figure appeared out of thin air. It was the Red Queen. However, the current Red Queen has been replaced with a 2-dimensional cute image, which is according to the hobby of the era, a changed image. Well, here is the future strategy team, and I will hand it over to you, Dolly. Now, let's start hosting the first strategy team. It's time to give them hope. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Strategy for the All Heavens Dungeon, starting from the Biohive. Author, I'm Chasing Water in the Sky. Chapter 6. Personal Origin Space. Vacant lots. A simple stone table, with 2 stone chairs. At one end sat Gun, and next to him stood the Red Queen. Sitting at the other end was Wu Changguo, the commander-in-chief of the Kyushu Raiders Regiment. There were also several people standing beside him, including Leng Feng, Yunlong, and Liang Rong. And in front of them, there is a screen. Kyushu Quest Strategy Group. Points, 1000. You can call me the Lord. Gun said with a smile, not pretending to be cold. Now that you have passed the trial, you can officially carry out the dungeon strategy. And the roll of points, you should know. Wu Changguo nodded excitedly. Yes, thank you, Your Excellency. By the way, Your Excellency the Lord, when will the next dungeon strategy be time? Wu Changguo held back his excitement and asked respectfully. When the copy is opened, there will be a notification of the issuance of information. Just wait in peace, but at least after you've built your base. Gun said as he stood up and was about to leave. If you have any questions in the future, you can ask the intelligent elves directly. After saying that, Gun disappeared and returned to the sacred mountain. Guys, if there's anything you want, just ask directly on the system panel. After saying that, the Red Queen also disappeared and left. When Wu Changguo stood up, even the tables and chairs disappeared. The task is arduous, we must build our Kyushu Raiders base here as soon as possible. Liang Rong stared at the light curtain in front of him, where a map of the origin space appeared. The small dot that lit up on it was a piece of land that had been allocated to Kyushu. The people of Kyushu can build their base here. But now, they only have 100 places to enter this origin space. However, to enter a dungeon, you don't necessarily need to be here. It is also accessible from the outside world. But it must be registered in the list of Kyushu Raiders. After you complete the registration, you need to upload it to the source space for confirmation. Not to mention these, it is still possible to build a simple base first. Liang Rong cares about the points mall the most. In addition, there is also the secret realm of the hive that everyone cleared before. Commander-in-Chief, the Kyushu side has a preliminary plan for the use of the existing 1000 points. The rental of the Hive secret realm only costs 100 points, and you can rent it for a month. It was decided to rent it for a month. And, according to the meaning of the Lord of the Lords, all the scientific and technological materials in the Hive, after renting, we can make a free copy and bring it into our own world. Leng Feng on the side didn't know what he thought, and he hurriedly spoke. Commander-in-Chief, I have discussed with Yunlong that 100 points of T-virus medicine, we must buy at least 6 of them. Don't you buy it? The T-virus agent that Leng Feng said is not the kind of mutation that makes people mutate. It is a side effect-free version. There are several types of T-viruses sold in the mall. There are regular versions with side effects, and the strengthening is all up to the face. Of course, there are also perfect and side effect-free ones. But it's not comparable to Ji-Yun getting the super enhanced version. If you say that a potion in the mall adds 5 points of all attributes, then the branch of the epoch is to add 100 points of all attributes. Wu Changguo on the side looked at Leng Feng angrily, and he wanted to use 600 points as soon as he opened his mouth. On the contrary, Liang Rong said on the side, Captain Leng Feng, the think tank has also studied the use of the T-virus. I'll buy 6 side effect-free versions and assign them to your strategy team. Our first priority now is to build an improvised base and start the next dungeon as soon as possible to earn more points. Kyushu has its own plans. Of course, the epoch will not care. The construction of the base is easy, not difficult. You can apply directly to the source space, and you can get various building material blocks just like playing a sandbox game. Build your own territory like building blocks. And the initial territory of each raider group's forces is only 100 meters by 100 meters in size. And at this moment, in the middle of the sacred mountain, he actually received another hint. Ding! A new world has been randomly accessed, and you can contact the new strategy team. Qin Shi Huang of the Qin world. Of the world in the Qin period. Qin Shi Huang. This is a world with good force values, and there are many masters. It's a good raider in the group, it's really lucky. Thinking of this, Era Yun waved his hand, and a huge light curtain appeared. Inside the light curtain, it is Xianyang City in the Qin world. The field of view suddenly zoomed in. Enter the heavily guarded palace. And in that Zhengtai palace, on the throne, it is the first emperor who is in power. Strategy for the All Heavens dungeon, starting from the Biohive. Author, I'm chasing water in the sky. Chapter 7. Sit on the throne. It was the first emperor who reigned. He was majestic and noble, cold and mysterious. Dressed in a black gold inlaid dragon robe, it is even more set off the kingly spirit of Yingzheng, who is not angry and arrogant. Suddenly, a mysterious colorful light appeared on the main hall. There is a galaxy in the shadow. Suddenly, a sacred mountain stood in the galaxy, stirring the heavens and the earth. A figure sits on the top of a sacred mountain. Like a fairy, like a god. And the eyes of the immortal god are open, in which the inverted stars and rivers turn, and the image of all things being born and dying. The people in the entire hall were stunned, looking at the mysterious light and shadow. Eventually, the light and shadow dissipated, turning into a jade talisman suspended in the air. Miracles! This is God bless my great Qin, God bless my majesty, is there a God who wants to help me great Qin prosper forever? The civil and military officials lost their manners in front of the palace, and if they were usual, they would not dare to do so if they were given 10 dares. But today, under the gaze of the gods and gods, he lost his manners. But Yingzheng on the throne did not blame him at all. On the contrary, even he himself was already excited, and his face was excited. Could it be that my initiative moved the heavens, and when he saw that I was struggling to find immortality but couldn't find it, he came to help me. Yingzheng stood up and walked to the side of the jade talisman. I couldn't help but reach out and touch it. Your Majesty, beware. Your Majesty, do you want to let the others first? Don't wait for these people to finish. Ying Zheng waved his hand and stopped everyone's words. No, I'm not afraid, this kind of divine object will not harm anyone. Ying Zheng doesn't know why, but he has a strong belief in this thing. When he touched the jade talisman turned into a ray of light and submerged into Ying Zheng's body. At the same time, the relevant information of the heavenly quest's secret realm and quest strategy was transmitted to his mind. The matter of the secret realm of the dungeon made him understand that a great opportunity had come. This opportunity is not only for him, but also for the entire Great Qin. The whole world. Ha ha ha. Thinking of this, Ying Zheng couldn't help laughing a few times. The civil and military officials, who were still a little worried, obviously got the advantage of chance when they saw Ying Zheng's appearance. Congratulations to your Majesty, you have obtained the things of the immortals, and your Majesty will be eternal and prosperous. Congratulations to your Majesty, forever and forever. Listen to the words of civil and military officials. Ying Zheng doesn't care about sycophants anymore. Of course, he was excited. But he is Qin Shi Huang after all. Soon he put down his mind and began his arrangement. A day later. Personal origin space. A simple temporary base built on the turf of the Kyushu Raiders Regiment. A message was also transmitted by the era to the Kyushu forces, and the Qin Shi Ying Zheng forces. Tripartite talks. But the Qin Shi world has not yet passed the first dungeon, and it cannot enter the personal space. Come on, I'll introduce you to you. Ji Yuan smiled and said to the few people of Wu Changguo who were sitting, and Ying Zheng who was behind the light curtain. On Ying Zheng's side, there are a lot of people. Ji Yuan didn't know much about Qin Shi, but he also recognized several people. There is Zhao Gao who has the net, there is the sword saint Gai Nai, and there is the moon god. Of the yin and yang family. They were in a particularly confused mood at the moment. In the main hall, Emperor Qin Ying Zheng did not hide half of it. Da Fang put his opportunity in the main hall, so that the civil and military officials could see it clearly. He wants to let this news spread to the world and let everyone know that his victory in power is the destiny of heaven. As for those who saw the scene at the scene, they were already a little stunned. Yesterday's mysterious jade talisman was really His Majesty's immortal fate. Heaven really protects Dakin and Ying Zheng. Not to mention what they think in their hearts. In the light curtain in the main hall, a voice came from it. The mysterious immortal family is the owner of that mysterious place, named Yuanzhu. I didn't see Ying Zheng being respectful and listening to that person's words. He must have gotten some news from the jade talisman. Speaking of which, your two strategy groups actually have some fate. Wu Changguo wondered, how could Kyushu have a fate with the ancients? However, what Wu Changguo was even more excited about was that there were other raider groups. It looks like an ancient dynasty like Kyushu. Lord, tell me, with this person. The fate of this one? Wu Changguo asked suspiciously. Looking at Ying Zheng, who was also puzzled, Ji Yuan chuckled. Commander Wu, the other side of the light curtain is the parallel world of your Kyushu. More than 2,000 years ago, the Qin state, the main throne, is Qin Shi Huang Ying Zheng. Ji Yuan ignored Wu Changguo, Leng Feng, and the others, who were extremely stunned. Then he said to Ying Zheng. Ying Zheng, sitting here is the Chinese civilization country of Kyushu more than 2,000 years later. As soon as this remark came out, it can be said that Ying Zheng and Gai Nai, Moon God, Li Si, Zhao Gao, and others looked shocked. Strategy for the All Heavens Dungeon, starting from the Biohive. Author, I'm Chasing Water in the Sky. Chapter 8. The era more than 2,000 years later. Of course, with the explanation of the era, it also let Ying Zheng and others know what a parallel world is. In that world, there is also my great Qin, and there is also my Ying Zheng. Ying Zheng pondered, and Li Si on the side heard some information from the explanation of the era, and then said softly, "Your Majesty, that's the same as you, the one who has obtained the immortal fate has become the world of the Dungeon Strategy Group. It's still different from us, according to what the UN Lord said, their world doesn't have our martial arts, it's all ordinary people." Yang Zhen nodded. Lisa's words are good, but they are. Yang Zhen didn't continue to say it, what he was thinking now in his heart was to want to know. The Chinese civilization of the Kyushu world, the Qin state there, how long has it ruled the world? But apparently this is not the time to talk about it. After all, if you will raid the copy with the people of the Kyushu world, then you can ask again when the time comes. And Wu Changguo and the others, after being stunned, quickly calmed down. It's just a parallel world of the Qin dynasty, even if there is martial arts. Moreover, with the mysterious power of the UN Lord in front of him, it is not trivial to connect a parallel world. It's only been a day since I entered here, but the experts who rented the hive for research are squeezing their heads one by one to get inside. There is also a T-virus agent that has no side effects. This thing can cure even most terminal diseases. Can also make people have great power, and they all become little supermen. This thing is so hot on the eyes. But even if there is a hive of T-virus data, it is not easy to make a T-virus completely in-house, which has no side effects. I haven't seen even an umbrella company specializing in this, it's not good. Okay, let's get down to business, you'll have more opportunities to deal with each other in the future. As for Yingzheng, it's the first strategy mission on your side, so this is a trial mission. As long as you complete this mission, you will be able to enter the origin space and obtain a base just like this Kyushu Raider group. Hearing Ji Yuan's words, Yang Zhen was excited, but he also hurriedly said, "It's all up to your excellency. I, Great Qin, will definitely do my best to clear the secret realm of the dungeon." Not only Yang Zhen, but also Zhao Gao, Li Si, Gai Nai and others are also trembling and excited. It's a big deal to get in touch with another world. Even, according to some of the information given by His Majesty, here, you can even get the opportunity to become an immortal and become an ancestor. It can be immortal and immortal. However, the only condition is to clear the dungeon's secret realm. The epoch has a clear mind about them, and you can concentrate on the dungeon anyway. Anyway, I am lying down to win. Then the epoch gave the task and didn't talk nonsense. The dungeon and quest have been issued, and the entry time will be 30 minutes later, so you should be prepared in advance. It's up to you guys. After Ji Yuan finished speaking, he disappeared and returned to the sacred mountain. And Wu Changguo also stood up and said to the light curtain, "Your Majesty Emperor Qin, the mission is about to begin, and after the mission is over, we will talk in detail." Yang Zhen didn't support him. After all, the person opposite was also the force of the immortal fate, and it was also a country. Although it is a country without martial arts, it should have its own unique place. "Your Excellency Wu Changguo, then we'll talk about it later. For now, let's go and complete the copy explained by Your Excellency the UN Lord first." With that, the light curtain disappeared. Both sides looked at the quest at the same time. Ding! Dungeon Laughing Prout Jianghu Martial Arts Secret Realm. Level 1 Star Adventure Dungeon. There are no restrictions on this copy. Mission 1, Destroy the Qing Cheng faction. Mission 2, Destroy the Wuyo Sword Sect. Mission 3, Destroy Blackwood Cliffs. Note that killing a sect disciple or sect master, or forcing a sect disciple to surrender, is to complete the task. A world with martial arts. Wu Changguo still knows about martial arts, after all, it is still let go on TV. But reality is still different from film and television works. Commander Wu, to be honest, this task is very simple. Liang Rong said calmly. You know, it's a task with no limits. And according to the information, these are sectarian mountain gates, and we can drive the tank directly into it. Yunlong also coaxed on the side and said. Liangrong is right, the cannon is pulled over and blasted. You cannon, you think about firing all day long. Wu Changguo on the side scolded with a smile. But he said with a serious expression. It's not this question, it's the task itself, how many people are there to destroy a martial arts sect? This is not a zombie, you can kill it without any worries. Leng Feng and the others were silent, it was indeed like this. Do those who don't know each other kill at will because of their own tasks? This kind of tone, in Kyushu, is unwanted. Think about what to do so much, drive the tank, artillery and helicopter directly into it, and then pull out the drone and give them a prestige. Wouldn't it be easier after that? Anyway, just surrender. And, according to the strategy information, after surrendering, these people are our people, and they can't do anything to betray us because of the contract restrictions. Captain Yunlong, who was called a cannon, said with a big grin, which made Wu Changguo's eyes light up. It's also said that those who have martial arts can just pull over and teach martial arts to our warriors. There are contractual restrictions, and they can't make any waves? Liangrong pushed her glasses and said with a little joy. After saying that, they immediately returned to the Kyushu reality base. The build-up of weapons began. But Wu Changguo didn't know what he was thinking, and he muttered. Do you want to open the live broadcast and communicate with Yingzheng? There. But what he didn't know was that Yingzheng's side also had this idea. Your Majesty, this mission is simple, and the most powerful master is just innate. In the dungeon rank, it is only the second order of transcendence. It's just a dirt chicken. There was a lot of talk and confidence in the first task. Yingzheng had some ideas in his mind after mobilizing his army. I want to start the live broadcast, so that the Kyushu forces can take a look at the power of my Qin army and the strength of your martial arts. Your Majesty is right, showing my great Qin courage to that force is the first step for your Majesty's prestige to spread to the heavens. Your Majesty Shengming. Your Majesty Shengming. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Strategy for the All Heavens Dungeon, starting from the Biohive. Author, I'm chasing water in the sky. Chapter 9. Ha ha ha. These people are all talents, and they have all started live broadcasts. This is to show the other party how strong you are. Epic lay on his back, looking at the two light curtains in front of him. Truth be told, this copy is easy. In the rivers and lakes, there are really no masters. At most, it is an undefeated and undefeated East, and I can do it. On the Kyushu side, as long as the planes and cannons go out, just a few bombardments, it is the end of these hypocritical and decent families. Aha! The masters of Great Qin have chosen the Qing Cheng faction. The warriors of Kyushu have chosen the Wuyo sword sect. Qing Cheng faction. The first time I participated in the dungeon, there were many masters sent by Great Qin. There are Gai Nai, Zhao Gao, Zhang Han, Moon God, Star Soul, and others. Not only these top masters, but of course other soldiers. When Gai Nai appeared, he cut off the head of the gatekeeper with a sword. Shadow Secret Guard, Luo Wang, and others, under the leadership of other masters, directly rushed in. Suddenly there was a sound of killing. None of the people from the Qing Cheng faction reacted. As for the surrender, tut. This little Qing Cheng faction is not in the eyes of De Qin. Zhao Jiayin smiled fiercely and said slowly. According to the information, this Qing Cheng faction belongs to a famous and decent family. But in fact, people have a beast's heart, they are rich and unkind, and they are also murderous. It's still a Taoist sect, which really makes people laugh off. Your Majesty said, there will be no one left in this faction. Great Qin is not like Kyushu, Slaughtering a sect, it really can't make any waves in their hearts. If you don't kill at will like Kyushu, you have to worry about the mental health of the soldiers. Your Majesty Emperor Qin, your martial arts are indeed good, but I also let you see the strength of my Kyushu. Through the live broadcast screen, Wu Changguo and Ying Zheng said. Haha, Your Excellency Wu Changguo, I want to see the so-called high-tech weapons in your mouth. Ying Zheng watched it for a long time. As for the Qing Cheng faction, he didn't need to look at it more. And on the Kyushu side, it finally appeared. The Wuyo Sword sect was originally a sect of the Five Great Mountains. But it was directly put together in one place by the power of the system. The people of the Wuyo Sword sect were still panicked, and they didn't know what was going on. I saw the steel-armored tank, in a posture of crushing everything, rushing out of an inexplicable place. Senior brother, what is that? Yu Lingshan asked in a low voice towards Ling Huchang. Her father, Yu Buchan, the head of the Huashan faction, was standing at the forefront, standing with several other people. Yu Buchan, the head of the Huashan faction. The head of the Songshan faction, Zhou Lengzhen. The head of the Hongshan faction is the Master of Leisure. Mr. Emoda, the head of the Hongshan faction. The head of the Taishan faction, the head of the Tianmen Dao. These five are the masters of the Wuyo Sword sect. They looked at the torrent of steel in disbelief, and there were metal objects flying extremely fast in the sky on their heads. That's a drone in Kyushu. And voices shouted from within. Your Excellency Wu Changguo, this is your high-tech weapon. Ying Zheng stared with wide eyes, not knowing what he was thinking. Haha, Your Majesty Emperor Qin, this is just some small things, the real big killer is not just these. Wu Changguo said with a smile. Liang Rong looked at Wu Changguo's display and rolled his eyes. There's no way, I got the news above, and in the strategy group, there was actually a Dakin from a parallel world. It's still a great Qin with a high personal force value. There is a living Emperor Yingzheng there. There are many people who have left heavy ink in the history books. How not to get them to pay attention? However, a very interesting psychology also appeared at the same time. That is to let the great Qin take a look at the great strength of the Chinese civilization that has continued to this day in later generations. I can't wait for even fighter aircraft carriers to fly in. It's just that I don't give it. And Ying Zheng and his Manchu dynasty civil and military, in the main hall, watching the torrent of steel, crushing the Wuyo Sword sect. As soon as the barrel of the tank exploded, the steel was blown to pieces. Let their hearts skip a beat. Your Majesty, this kind of equipment is simply unheard of, unseen, and amazingly powerful. Li Si bowed to the side and said, but there was a fiery look of urgency in his eyes. There was also that Wang Jian on the side and said, Your Majesty, you see those soldiers, they are just ordinary people, but they are armed with weapons called machine guns, and their power is also extremely amazing. If I and other soldiers are equipped with these, then the Great Wall will not need to be built. Wu Changguo looked at the live broadcast, Ying Zheng's reaction, and the powerful force of those masters during the raid. Naturally, I have some ideas in my mind. In this smiling and proud Jianghu secret realm, the so-called martial arts master. In the eyes of those masters of Great Qin, they were like ordinary people, and they had no strength to fight back. If our soldiers had this kind of force, and they were equipped with individual weapons, they would be. Both sides had some ideas, and they were both thinking about ending this quest quickly, and then entering the origin space to have a good chat. The Anno is certainly happy to see this. 11 Read books every day, charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. To rush immediately, event period, October 1st to October 7th. Strategy for the All Heavens Dungeon, starting from the Biohive. Author, I'm Chasing Water in the Sky. Chapter 10. Ding. Congratulations on clearing the 1-star adventure level dungeon, smiling proudly, the secret realm of martial arts hegemony. Congratulations on completing all the tasks. Reward 1, a 9-tailed demon fox from the ninja village fighting world. Reward 2, if the divine palm is complete, from the star kung fu world. Reward 3, 100 tribulation golden pill, from the dragonless runic world. Additional rewards, open the hidden mall of Xiaoyao Jianghu, open the Tower of Origin, and reward points of 10,000. Dakin. Ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellency has opened the origin space for us. Come in with me. Yang Zheng got up slowly, tidied up his appearance, and said to Gai Nai and the others. Then, with a wave of his hand, a jade talisman appeared, turning into a portal. Yang Zheng took the lead and walked in. Of course, Gai Nai and the others would not procrastinate, and hurriedly walked in with Yang Zheng. Haha, Your Majesty Emperor Qin, this way, this way. As soon as Yang Zheng came in, he heard Wu Changguo's voice. Your Excellency Wu Changguo, this is the origin space. Why don't you see, Your Excellency? Wu Changguo stepped forward with a smile and pointed to the simple stone table. When our two forces have arrived, Your Excellency will appear. After speaking, he reported to Gai Nai and the others behind Yang Zheng to hug his fists. When the two raiders sat down, the Epoch happened to appear. Meet Your Excellency. Epoch waved his hand and motioned for everyone to sit down. And then don't talk nonsense, just say. Is there anything you need to ask? Yang Zheng and Wu Changguo glanced at each other, and saw Wu Changguo standing up. Your Excellency, I had a conversation with His Majesty Emperor Qin during the live broadcast of the strategy. I just want to ask Your Excellency, if the two worlds of our two countries want to communicate with each other, is it feasible? Wu Changguo should have had a detailed exchange with Yang Zheng, so he is naturally interested in this aspect. Gun nodded after hearing this, not surprised at all. However, it is impossible for the two parties to communicate directly, and they must pass through the origin space before they can get in touch. After thinking about it, the error didn't hide it. Yes, but you have to go through the origin space. Whether it's people, or goods, or whatever. Only after passing through the origin space and reporting to the intelligent elves can you enter the other party's world. But there are limitations, as long as it's about the number of people. How many people? Wu Changguo and Yang Zheng are a little confused. UN Master, is it related to the number of people in the origin base? The number of people we can enter the origin base is only 100. Even if you enter the other party's world, you will occupy this place. Liang Rong on the side said that she was worthy of being engaged in information and intelligence collation, and she found information clues as soon as she heard it. Eno nodded, signaling that what she said was good. But it's just that there is a limit to the number of people, but there is no limit to the goods. I think you should have a way. If there is a trade between the two of you, I will divide a trading area on the map, separate from the base area. Hearing Gun's words, Yang Zheng and Wu Changguo immediately stood up and expressed their gratitude. By the way, I have a special secret here, but I can give you a strategy. This is not an official copy, and the official copy will have to wait a few more days. Eno said as he waved his hand to open a projection map of the planets. It is the Resident Evil world. Relevant information was also sent to the two raider groups. Biochemical zombies. Nearly 7 billion people and living beings in the world have all died. The world of the end of the world. It's a terrifying world. It's not that zombies are scary. It's a planet, a whole 7 billion human beings are going extinct, and they are shocked. It's really shocking that this umbrella company dares to do such a thing, and what the capital of the parallel world Stars and Stripes has done. Wu Changguo sighed, mixed with anger. You know, as mentioned in the message, there is a Chinese civilization in a parallel world. Such barbarians cannot be left behind. Your Excellency Wu Changguo, I have read everything in your book for 5,000 years. I, the great Qin world, should slaughter all the barbarians and dominate the entire world. So, I still need your help. Yang Zheng shocked the number of living beings in later generations, billions of people around the world. Moreover, even the Kyushu forces have a population of more than 1 billion. If there were so many people in Dakan, he would be able to explode troops casually. Your Majesty Emperor Qin, of course, our two forces need win-win cooperation, and the future can be expected. As for how to cooperate, how to create the future together, when the two parties have in-depth exchanges together. Epoch is quite in favor, after all, it is a good thing, it can strengthen the strength of both sides. The devil knows what copies will come out in the future. That's right, this special copy can enhance the understanding between the two of you. And, in the special dungeon, you can get other benefits besides points. Yang Zheng and Wu Changguo were a little puzzled and looked at Ji Yuan. The epoch is slowly explaining the story of this special dungeon. There's no limit to this copy. You can just blast troops inside. Moreover, the Kyushu forces should know that the Resident Evil world is a modern civilization. There is a world of weapons and equipment there that you can both acquire and even bring back to your world. None of these things require points. Not only can you enrich your armament, but also improve your scientific research and technology. And many of these basic industrial facilities were needed by the world in the Qin period. The two of you join forces, and I believe that after a year or two of hard work, you should be able to completely clean up the zombies in this world. Yang Zheng heard Ji Yuan's words, and his eyes lit up. A remnant of the modern civilized world, accessible at will. It was very interesting to him. After this return, it is necessary to mobilize a large army and enter the special dungeon. There are also the Yin and Yang family, the Taoist family, the peasant family, and the Mo family. Wait a minute. Humph. I want to see that my Yang Zheng has obtained the immortal fate and changed his fate. If they are still obsessed, then don't blame me for winning the government. Moreover, if you want to enter the origin space and enter the copy, you must go through the registration of the Jade Talisman. In other words, the strategy team of the Qinshi world is in the hands of great Qin Yang Zheng. This is different from the Kyushu side. Kyushu is not in the hands of one person, but the entire Kyushu government. This is the different treatment that the epoch gives to different forces. 11. Read books every day, charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. To rush immediately, event period, October 1st to October 7th.